Welcome to the Farzy Show, presented by Destination Retirement, DestinationRetirement.com, coming to you live 6 a.m. every day, right here in the Steven Singer Studios. So much to get to today, out even on a day where the Flyers lost, and the Sixers didn't even play. NFL Combine's going on. We'll get to it all on the show today. Folks, I've told you, I went through Seinfeld, binged Seinfeld. I caught up with it. I watched it, obviously, while it was running, and I was a kid when it was running. I didn't realize how much of a kid I was, but when it went on the air, I was 7 years old. So when it went on Netflix, I was like, I got to watch me the Seinfeld. I got to watch the whole thing, right? I want to go through the whole thing. And there's an episode, if you watched it in real time, and if you watched it, binged it, whatever, there's an episode where George, for the vast majority of the early goings of the show, is a very unsuccessful best friend of Jerry Seinfeld. And then there's Elaine, who's good professional career for the most part. Then there's an episode where George becomes successful and Elaine becomes unsuccessful. And Jerry's whole thing is the balance. He can't have two friends doing well. He's got to have the balance. One has to be doing well, one has to be doing bad. And folks, I use this anecdote to describe the Philadelphia Flyers versus the Philadelphia 76ers, because things could not be going better. Well, the Heat could have lost last night, but for the most part, things could not be going better for the Sixers right now. Things are going phenomenally well for Sixers fans. For the Philadelphia fans that have love in their heart for the 76ers, that love in your heart is full with joy and optimism. For the Philadelphia sports fans that have love in their heart for the Flyers, the last couple of months have just been filled with disappointment, angst, and a lot of, what the hell are they doing? And it's about to go through a big change with Claude Giroux about to be traded. There's no reports being leaked out or anything like that about where he's going to go, and nothing new over the last week or so. But he's going to get traded. I'm almost positive of it. I'm positive of it. I'll even go that far. But the Flyers last night, in a night where they have the city to themselves, more or less, could not hold a lead, basically is what happened. And they lose 5-4 to the Minnesota Wild, a team that obviously Chuck Fletcher knows pretty well, a team that even assistant coach, now interim head coach Mike Yeo knows pretty well. And last night, the Flyers take 4 different leads in the game, and they blow each lead to lose 5-4. Before I voice any complaint, I just want to say, Scott Lawton, God bless you. You played a phenomenal game last night. Everybody else, high question. High question. I keep on going back to that term that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, snake bit, when it comes to this Flyers team. I think it was Sam Carchidi put the question out there. Do you guys feel snake bit? And my argument was, this team's not snake bit because they're just not that good. But I don't know what it is. I can't think of a team that had this much trouble protecting leads, especially leads late in the third period. You're under 7 minutes to go in the third period. You are leading this hockey game 4-3. Not anymore, tied at 4, and then you go on to lose this hockey game 5-4. Really, it came down to bad turnovers. Brassard's turnover at the blue line at the end of the first period was awful. He was actually on the goal line in the corner, went to clear it, gets knocked out the blue line, shoots, he scores with about 6 seconds left in the period, if that. So that was just a bonehead play. And then you get play in front of the net from your defenseman that's, I'll say this, lacking at best, where you allow 2 guys to just kind of linger in front of the net and they deposit the puck in the back of the net. So for me, it's just a couple of things that just seemed like, I don't know, common sense evaded some Flyers in this game. But it's something every single night that this team just can't get a hold on and actually force themselves into a win. And I know that we should accept who the Flyers are right now. We should accept how bad they are. Why fight it? I got a text yesterday from my buddy Joe, who I've told you before is just the biggest Flyers fan I know. And on the unfortunate side of this, he lives in Pittsburgh now and married a lady from out there. And his heart longs for the Flyers to be successful. And his text last night read, if the Flyers go undefeated for the rest of the year, they get to 100 points and probably make the playoffs. And I was like, by golly, Joe, never lose that energy, my friend. Never lose that energy. And there are still people like that exist they're few and far between. When it comes to Flyers and it comes to success, we've had a lot of disappointment when it's come to this hockey team, unfortunately. And this seems like it's just going to continue to be another year of that. And the only thing we really have to look forward to is how much they're going to change this team between this year and next year, and how much they could change this team going into the trade deadline, most notably Claude Giroux and what they do with their captain going forward. So another tough one for the Flyers last night, and we'll see where we go from here. NFL Combine, ladies and gentlemen. I would love the job of the guy that's got to do the timing at the old 40 time, because yesterday they ran 40-yard dashes, and I would think that would be a pretty easy job. And they say the unofficial time is this. The unofficial time seems way off. Let's take the case yesterday of Baylor wide receiver Tyquan Thornton, who was thought to have run a record 4.2140. Just listen to this. Watch this. This is incredible. This not the speed. Watching speed's incredible.
Of Baylor, these times are unofficial. However, if it's official, we have a new fastest man.
That's pretty fast. All right, you can just see how fast that is. And you saw the time right there, 4.21. The official time given was 4.28. So no record. Adam Schefter's tweeting about it. People are losing their minds. They're all excited about it. No record. No new record. 4.28. How are you 7 100ths of a second off? Like, where do you that? And like, how do you? It just seems like a job a lot of us could do a little bit better. Of all things, the NFL running a combine. This is something I feel like they can do a lot better. But he was one of the fast times I wanted to report to you guys. And then also another wide receiver, Chris Olave of Ohio State, ran a unofficial 4.2640, which actually was official. This one was way off. 4.3940 was his official time given. You got one job. Just did it. Yeah. Anyway, that's my little rant on 40 times. But anyway, if you're watching the combine, yesterday is the day to watch because they obviously ran the 40s, and it's always interesting to watch that. Kenny Pickett's got some wheels and apparently some small hands. I'm just trying to save you time here so you don't have to sit there and watch guys just work out, basically. Kenny Pickett's got some tiny hands. That was the big story yesterday. Some tiny hands. I don't know how they measure the hand exactly, but I know with my hand, it's like a foot going across. This kid's got like 8 inches across from thumb to pinky. 8 inches. Good God, man. Good God, man. Those are some tiny hands. When I think of tiny hands, I think of two things. I think of Jared Goff, and I think of Austin Powers. Small hands. Connies. Anyway, so if you're watching the combine, that's what you had going on for yourself yesterday. If you didn't watch the combine, that's pretty much all you need to know. So I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, Kenny Pickett, he does have some wheels, by the way. He ran a 4.4640, unofficial. So that probably means like 10 minutes. Took him 10 minutes to get from start to finish in the 40 yesterday. So in case you missed that. That, ladies and gentlemen, was me opening the show without getting into the 76ers. And I wait with great anticipation for tonight. And we had the home debut with James Harden. That could not have gone better. They even gave us a little tease, they're going to lose this game, down 16. No, they came roaring back, and it was beautiful. And then a day like today, they go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a solid playoff team right now, going into the Eastern Conference last 2 months of the season. And the Cavaliers, pretty decent, but this will be another test for the Sixers, where they have a long stretch here of going up against playoff teams. And this first one that they're really going to be facing off against after the Knicks, obviously, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. This is just another game that you want to see them continue to build on what they have been able to put together to this point. And if I got to see one thing from this point on for the rest of the regular season, I have seen James Harden dazzle. We know how good Joel Embiid is. Tyrese Maxey needs to just sustain. That'd be great. What I would really love to see over the next couple of games for the Sixers is getting Tobias Harris involved in this offense more. And I think he is involved in the offense, but what he is not doing is taking advantage of his opportunities. And in this game, the second game against the Knicks, I feel like you finally got that from Tobias Harris. I say finally. Going into the game, it was 2 games with James Harden. But we know throughout the season, Tobias Harris, for the vast majority of it, has struggled. Now, Leading up to the James Harden acquisition, Tobias Harris had started to figure it out a little bit. He had gone through a month where he actually averaged over 20 points a game. I believe it was 22 points per game over the course of a month. That's what you need out of Tobias Harris, especially in this offense. But if you're going to continue to have the main three of the starting five with Maxey, Harden, and Embiid scoring you on average through their first 3 games, 84 points on average, then you can rely on Tobias Harris maybe for those 15 points, maybe on a good night, those 20 points a game. And if he can consistently hit the 3 as he has in these first couple of games, then you can really start talking about winning a championship when you have a fourth contributor like that, like Tobias Harris. And obviously D-Up, of course, on the other end of the court. But what I need to see over the next couple of games with this squad is Tobias Harris to continue to grow his role and be more consistent in this offense. That's what I'm asking for. That's what I'd like to see. And by the way, I didn't even mention it yet. Krystle Rich is going to be joining the show, Sixers Outsiders. She's going to be joining the show, talk some 76ers. And she does play Fast Five as a first-time guest of the show. So we will have some fun with Krystle coming up in just a minute. Now, the acquisition that did happen yesterday with the Sixers is the acquisition of DeAndre Jordan. My take on this throughout the entire week that it started to get reported is, okay, let's see what he's got. I don't think it's a lot. I don't think he's going to come in and nearly get you the Andre Drummond minutes that Andre Drummond was giving you here in Philly. But I think it'll be something more along the lines of maybe 10 minutes a game, somewhere around there. And then you'll have guys like B-Ball Paul, you'll have Bassey, you'll see those guys mixed in a little bit. And then you also see, of course, Paul Millsap getting some more time power forward and center while Joel Embiid is not on the court. I'm really interested to see what James Harden can do with DeAndre Jordan. The two were very efficient while they had some time together with the Brooklyn Nets. But that was a year ago. These guys are another year older. DeAndre Jordan, most notably, another year older. Want to see how they actually work together and what you can see from a guy like James Harden and what he can get out of DeAndre Jordan. Because all I'm looking for, this is all we need. It's not going to be, can't say it enough, the LA Clippers version of DeAndre Jordan. I'm sure you'll hear that a lot, however long DeAndre Jordan's here in Philadelphia. But if you could just get a guy to get you boards, give you some defense, and then on the other end of the court, the offensive end of the court, actually attack the rim, you're set. You're set. If you're Will Cauley-Stein, it's not a lot of confidence in you, obviously. But if you're some of these other guys, I think you're looking at DeAndre Jordan as, one, a veteran presence, B, a guy to take up some body and some space, defensively speaking, a guy to attack the rim and pick and roll. That's what you're going to be waiting for and watching with DeAndre Jordan being here. The question is whether or not he can still do that with any semblance of efficiency. And I know a lot of people have their doubts about it. I know a lot of people are thinking this is a waste of a move. I think if it's Doc Rivers and it's Daryl Morey making it, I'm missing something. There's something they know about him, and James Harden as well. There's something they know about him that I certainly do not know about him. And I have confidence in both those parties, most notably Daryl Morey, because I don't think he would just waste a move. You know, I have a lot of confidence in Daryl Morey at least giving it a shot. There's no guarantee that he'll be on the active roster come playoff time or anything like that. But when it comes to this particular move, why not give it a shot? I hate the fact that the Sixers had to give up Andre Drummond, or at least felt like they had to give up Andre Drummond to get James Harden here in Philadelphia. Would have loved to have maybe kept Andre Drummond out of that because he was so perfect in that backup role to Joel Embiid, especially because it was the first time he was ever backing up anybody in the NBA. DeAndre Jordan has already gone through that backup center role with the Brooklyn Nets, and then obviously was doing it with LA as well. So he had kind of already been through that motion. Andre Jordan was just basically trying to keep his career going by the time he got here to Philadelphia earlier this season or last offseason. So for me, that's all I need. I want to see somebody kind of come in and take over that role of getting you boards. And Andre Drummond, it was hard to do better than what he was doing for you. So you're not going to be better than Andre Drummond as a backup center, especially what I think will be limited minutes with Jordan. So you're going to get a guy in here that hopefully gets some rebounds, attack the rim, and give you some offense if the ball happens to find him on the offensive end of things. Other than that, one of the most pleasant surprises of all this, because I've talked about spacing a lot. I've talked about Tobias Harris growing. I've talked about Tyrese Maxey growing. Other than all that, the biggest surprise, the most pleasant surprise has been how Doc Rivers has really handled this lineup. He came out and told reporters before James Harden ever played his first game that he wanted to make sure he had Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey. He wanted to have 2 of those 4 guys on the court together at all times. He wanted to have at least 2 of those guys on the court. And so far, he has done that in their first 3 games together. I look forward to seeing that continue tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And what I really like is that if there comes time for a change, Matisse Thybulle needs to be out because they need more offense. And by the way, Matisse Thybulle hitting a couple of threes for you last night or 2 nights ago was fantastic. Would love to see that with consistency, as we've all been waiting for that, because then you can really justify him on the court, especially when it comes to offensive struggles. But he has George Niang in the game at the end of the first half. And it's like, wait, whatever's working in that game, he makes adjustments. And I like that. This is a rotation that it's hard to screw up. But a lot of coaches, instead of trying to square peg, round hole something, Doc Rivers is just kind of being real calm about this and spreading the minutes out amongst these guys. And if he needs an adjustment like George Niang in at the end of the first half, he goes ahead and he does that. But when it comes to the other guys and staggering their minutes, this is the lineup you can get away with staggering. I know some people were arguing for Tyrese Maxey and his minutes to be staggered with Joel Embiid, so he had 1 scorer on the floor at all times, 1 consistent scorer. I was never party to that. I didn't like that. But now that you throw in James Harden to this mix and you have basically 2 sets of 2, staggering makes a hell of a lot more sense. So I love the idea that the Sixers are doing this. Doc Rivers coaching through the first 3 games has been one of the most pleasant surprises so far, and hopefully we see that continue tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about the amazing people at Destination Retirement, destinationretirement.com. My man, Mike Seibert, hooking it up. Retirement income certified professional. He's a financial advisor for Eagles and Sixers fans only. His firm, Destination Retirement LLC, is a full-service planning firm and a partner of 1847 Financial. Mike helps clients with the accumulation and distribution years. What's the difference? A lot. Have you figured out how much you'll need per month when you retire? How much of your retirement income would you like guaranteed no matter what? Do you want to protect any assets from downside market risk? And do you have a written plan in place to help you along with retirement? If you have questions, if you need answers, if you have assets over $250,000 or more, Mike will create a written plan to help offset your retirement expenses free of charge using software from Retirement Analyzer. Usually he charges about just under $2,000 when it comes to services like this. So act now. Take advantage of what Mike's offering. Your plan will show how you can help offset your retirement expenses, what to do in a volatile market, and help minimize taxes. With over 30 years of experience, Mike is committed to helping Eagles and Sixers fans only get to and through retirement. You can reach Mike at 484-275-6035. That's 484-275-6035. Or visit destinationretirement.com. That's destinationretirement.com. Click on Find Out at the top of the page and fill out the questionnaire to see how prepared you are for retirement and to sign up for his newsletter. He'll get back to you and show you how he can help. I'll talk to you about it. As always, go Birds and play the song. How about Steven Singer? Steven Singer Jewelers. IHateStevenSinger.com. Looking to get engaged? Looking for the perfect gift? Diamond necklace, diamond earrings, diamond tennis bracelet? Steven's got it all. You can peruse all the beautiful inventory, the sparkling, dazzling diamonds of Steven Singer Jewelers at IHateStevenSinger.com. Then you go into Steven Singer, you make an appointment, you sit down with a real jewelry expert, or you just walk in off the street with a real jewelry expert, and they'll walk you through everything, all the beautiful inventory that they have. And here's the best part about it. Hassle, no haggle, no negotiating. You don't have to worry about any of that. Everything's set at the perfect price. And when you go into Steven Singer, you will be wowed by that because things aren't marked up ridiculously like in other jewelers. That's why other jewelers say, I hate Steven Singer. Makes it so easy to buy a diamond. It's so comfortable. You don't have to worry about if the guy next to you is paying less. Oh, am I getting some kind of deal? Yes, you're getting a deal. I'm telling you right now, you're getting a deal because you're getting taken care of at the perfect price every single day at Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price every day. IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven likes to say he's been in the love business for over 40 years. And he's been doing that with Ready for Love diamond engagement rings and other rings as well at Steven Singer Jewelers. IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further adu, first-time guest. Now, I'm going to let you guys in behind the scenes for a second here. Midway through the Fast Five, my audio basically just cut out for whatever reason. I don't know why. I think I fixed it. I can hear everything now, but whatever. So there's a couple things I didn't hear, and I tried to react. I think we have an edit in there too, but just so you know, during Fast Five, there's a little thing that happened. I couldn't really hear, so I tried to react as best I could. Anyway, without further ado, our guest today, the lovely, the amazing Krystle Rich. And now joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, ladies and gentlemen, you know her, and you better damn love her, as far as I'm concerned. Krystle Rich Bell joins the show, Sixers Outsiders, and a whole array of other things. Just real quick, just look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all she's got going on here. She's got everything going on here, as a matter of fact. All right, here's her Twitter profile. She's got NBC Sports Philadelphia, Sixers Outsiders, Big Ten Network, no big deal. And I believe that's Rutgers University as well.
That's right. That's right. Still rocking my red.
Look at you. Krystle Rich, how the hell are you?
I'm doing well, Mark. Man, it's been so long since the last time we got together. Thank you for having me on the show.
No, it's my pleasure. We need your knowledge. But also, I just want to do this because I didn't intend to do this. But if you look in the middle of your, your cover photo there on your Twitter, it's me and you when we were co-hosting Philly Sports Talk. I think Amy had the day off. It's Danny Pomels, or as the great Marc Zumoff like to say, Pomels. And I am holding up a medal. Krystle, do you know what that medal was for?
Oh, my God.
Just out of curiosity.
You're really going to do this to me? I haven't changed that photo since maybe like 4 years ago when I got to the Sportsnet or NBC Sports Philadelphia. Yes, I know what the photo is from. It's from the NRG football, whatever. And I was D'ing you up so
You
well.
were. Yeah.
Everyone, they knew Krystle Rich, but they didn't know K Rich. Unfortunately, it is a team game, and you edged us out. So you decided to brag with your medal on air. Yes, I do remember it, and I still did not change that photo.
I come from a humble people. I just don't take after them. Krystle, no, it's so great to have you on the show. It's the first time. We'll play Fast Five at the end of the interview. It's so great to have you on. But I got to ask you, a couple of things about these Sixers. Obviously, most recently, DeAndre Jordan, washed, have anything to offer? What do you think the Sixers could get out of him if he joins this squad? When he joins this squad?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're always looking for a sufficient backup to Joel Embiid, especially for playoff times. Not someone who's going to play crazy amount of minutes, but someone who at least can hold it down, protect the rim. I think it's good that he would be able to be reunited with Doc Rivers. I think that would be good. I think that he's a monster when it comes to catching lobs. I also still think that because he's a little older, he does have a little bit more to prove. So I don't think that it may be a seamless transition for him. I think that in past years, he's kind of declined a little bit. But if he can give you 5 to 7 really good minutes where he's putting his all out, he's catching lobs, he's protecting the rim, I think that'll be enough to be sufficient.
All right, 5 to 7. All right, I'll mark him down for 5 to 7. Hopefully they can get that out of him. Now let's get to the creme de la creme. I mean, James Harden, is he just being on his best behavior right now, or is this what we're going to get for the remainder of the season? What do you think?
No, listen, I talk about this all the time. I think his slate needs to be wiped clean. You go back to his Houston days, he didn't want to go through a rebuild because he is getting older. He wants to get some bling. He wants to get a ring. In Brooklyn, he got catfish, Mark, straight up played. He thought he was signing up to be a big three with KD and Kyrie. Guess what? That didn't happen. He had a player who did not want to get vaccinated, of course. So at one point, he just wasn't playing. Now he's a part-time player. That's still not good enough. He needs to get on a team where he can build some true camaraderie before the playoffs. He's 32 years old, which we know is a different age in basketball. He's ready to win and ready to win now, and that aligns with the goals of Joel Embiid and the Sixers. Joel Embiid is actually happy again. He's smiling again. He's more passionate. So, no, I think this is a beautiful marriage, and I think he is on his best behavior, but I think truly that is who he is. I think that because of his circumstances, he's just been forced to act up, and people just talk about him liking lemon pepper wings.
Yeah, among other things. I do love the idea though of him getting catfished with the Nets. Like, I just love I love the idea of like he goes to Brooklyn and like Kyrie Irving's like, guess what? I'm a dude. Sorry. Anyway, all right, that was a joke for me. So that was a selfish joke. All right, so Joel Embiid being happy is obviously a huge thing. What did you make of Joel Embiid's comments when he was basically calling out the Colangelos and all the changes that he's went through as a 76er?
Yeah, it was great because you almost forgot how much this dude has been through. He's been through injuries, which he didn't even mention. He's been through burner accounts. He's been through a player who would not shoot the ball, to that same player blaming him for the same player holding out. He has been through so much. It was refreshing to hear, to me, because it made me remember how much he has been through. Because we remember Joel Embiid, who came out and he was happy and he was shimmying after every dunk. But somewhere along the line, Mark, it felt like that has gone away. Especially a little bit last season, I could see that in his face. He would just have this blank look on his face all the time. And I'm wondering where Joel Embiid is. Where is Joel Embiid? He doesn't seem like the same person. But today and yesterday, a couple days ago, since the trade has happened in these past 3 games, it feels like he's gotten his joy back, and it feels like he's really gotten his passion back. We know that he could be a walking double-double, but to do it with so much joy and get these wide open looks and get other people involved, it's different.
Mm-hmm. It certainly seems like it. The other guy that is going through a bit of a change right now, and he's been doing it sporadically throughout the season, and certainly now consistently over the last really month, and now especially with James Harden, is Tyrese Maxey. Did you see at all the potential of Tyrese Maxey jumping to what it is right now so quickly?
He's in his sophomore season, Mark. No, I don't think I truly did to start the season. We knew that he would be called into a much bigger role if Ben Simmons truly did hold out, which he did. And he got in that role. At first, he had to get a little bit more adjusted with Joel Embiid. He kind of figured that out. But then when Harden came, we didn't know how it would work out. And I personally was willing to be a lot more forgiving towards, if anyone, Tyrese Maxey, because he's already been called in this huge role. Now he's getting another superstar on this team, but it has helped his game so tremendously much. Not only is James Harden able to get him a lot of wide open looks, probably the most wide open he's ever been in his entire career, but he's also like a Coach Harden to him. If you remember after the game, he said, Coach Harden said, "Did you come to play tonight? Did you show up tonight?" And in the first quarter, I think he had 4 points, second quarter, 0 points. And then he really stepped up his game, scoring 21 in the second half. So to be able to have that from a James Harden, to coach him up, that's something that will never show up in a box score. By the way, did you see the step back that Maxey did, the step back 3? Listen, Steph Curry can't even get away with this, because we know the James Harden double step back might be a little bit of a travel, but he gets away with it. Steph Curry back in 2019 tried to get away with it. He couldn't. Maxey executed it to perfection, and he's only in his second year. Fast forward to 5 years out, 10 years out, and imagine where he will be with this kind of training under James Harden.
It's so funny you reference that, because literally on yesterday's show, I said Joel Embiid has been doing the step back all year. Tyrese Maxey has worked in a step back throughout the season, but it wasn't the James Harden step back. The James Harden step back, the difference is you look at it and go, I'm pretty sure that's a travel, but whatever. Like, that's the difference. So I love that you pointed that out as well. When it comes to Tobias Harris, that's the kind of the X factor, I feel. I feel like 2 nights ago, he dropped 15 points in the second game against the Knicks. And I felt like if that's what you're able to get from Tobias Harris down the line, 15 to 20 points, is it a max contract worthy type of statistical line? Absolutely not. But if he's hitting threes for you, if he's D'ing up for you, and he's getting you at least those points consistently, then I think he could fit in well with the other 3.
Yeah, Mark, I agree with that. I would like his numbers to be a little bit higher, maybe 17, 22, somewhere in that ballpark. And I think that we came here, and at least I said, give James Harden time to gel with this team. It's a new team. Don't expect them to come out and be fire. They came out and they were fire. But I still do think that Tobias Harris needs that grace time, that grace period, to be able to gel with James Harden. Because what Doc Rivers is doing when he splits up the rotation, he's keeping Harden and Tobias Harris out with some bench players. Last game, In the second quarter, it was Shake Milton, it was Millsap, and it was Danny Green. And I think he's still going to have to work on those rotations a little bit more. But I do think that Tobias Harris working with James Harden until we get to the postseason, I think that's going to develop that relationship a little bit more. He's still trying to figure things out. I know that James Harden has dropped some really pretty dimes to Tobias, and sometimes it could just be an issue of Tobias is missing, not that they're bad looks. Or sometimes I feel like sometimes he could be a little bit in his head. He's thinking too much. He might pass up a shot or two and find other guys who are open. But I think that by the time we get to the playoffs, I don't think this is going to be as much of an issue. If you can forget about this contract and stop putting the expectations for him to get 26 to 30 points per game, then I think that we'll see the puzzle pieces fit a lot better. And I just want to point out that back in the Brett Brown era, when we had the Jimmy Butler trade, they only played 10 games together before going to the playoffs. There was always something, whether Joel Embiid hurt or this person dealing with that. This team right now has about 20 games to get it together. And the biggest person that's going to have to figure things out is Tobias Harris. And I truly think that he will.
That's a phenomenal point, Krystle. So let's say they get it together over those 20 games. What are your expectations for this 76ers, James Harden, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, hopefully Tobias Harris led squad? What's your expectations for this team?
It's over. It's over. He figures it out. You saw the smile on my face before you could even get the question out. It is over. We are taking the East right now. The East it's kind of up for grabs. You know, everyone's talking about Miami. We're talking about the Bucks. Bucks should beat Miami, but Miami, like, Jimmy Butler didn't play great. Kyle Lowry wasn't playing. So everyone's still question mark. KD might be coming back soon, question mark. No, all those questions are answered if Tobias Harris gets it together. The Sixers, I believe, will be able to not only take the East, but have a legitimate chance to be a contender and win it all this season. That's it. And
I'm on board. I
like to keep it real, and I'll give you one example of that. There was a broadcaster in a different market, I want to say Boston, who said Ben Simmons was overrated. All of Philly media went on him hard. This is when he was playing. And I sat back and I was quiet because I was like, you know what? I think he might have a point. He's a point guard. He doesn't shoot the ball. To me, that sounds overrated. So listen, I will keep it real. I'm not trying to be a homer, but if this team can get it together and Tobias Harris can contribute just a little bit more, make his shots, I believe they will win the East and have a chance at the chip.
It's all I need. It's all I need. Now you mentioned the Sixers answering some questions. Tobias Harris, most notably, hopefully answer a question. Krystle Rich, you've been answering questions throughout this entire interview. You want to play Fast Five? Answer 5 more questions quickly?
Can it be like medium pace 5?
Yeah, that's fine. Just pipe it down a little bit. It's the evening that we're taping this. It's in my relaxation time. Just calm down, all right? I love that. Let's get it going right here. We'll bring in the band. They'll rock it out for us. All right, here we go. First question, best job before this job that you have. Best job before the job you have now.
All right, this goes all the way back to high school when I worked at a pizzeria. Even though I had really cool jobs, I broadcasted all over the country, learning to make a pizza by hand. And as an Italian man, I know you can appreciate that. Made calzones, made panzerottis, and the ability to be able to bring that into my adult life, priceless.
Beautiful. All right. That was very good and a fine pace. That was more of the medium. I like it. All right. Go-to fast food place.
I'm going to say Thai. Recently, it's been Thai. Usually it's pizza, but that's not even fast food. Okay, I'm going to have to go with pizza now.
Pizza's a fast food.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You love pizza. The lady likes pizza. First date deal breaker. Question number 3. First date deal breaker.
If he asks you to go Dutch and split the check, no, you're automatically in the friend zone. I can afford my own, and just in case it happens, I make sure I come prepared. But no, automatic friend zone. Not on the first date, maybe the second.
Love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Favorite city to travel to?
Philadelphia is always my number 1 city, but I like going to LA. You get the beach, you get the city, you get the sun. You never have to worry about rain.
All right, good enough. All right. In traffic, Krystle, what makes you use your horn?
When someone is tailgating me, I'll get in the other lane, beat really hard, and it's a thing. It's a shortcoming that I am working on. But stay off my behind. That's all I'm saying. Stay off my mind. If you know what car I drive, stay back. That's it.
I absolutely love that. I love the it's not even passive aggressive at all, because
No,
you're
it's
literally
straight
making the aggressive move.
Yeah.
Yeah, of letting him pull up.
Yeah. Yep.
Krystle, you're the best thing happening. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys are checking out Krystle on Sixers Outsiders, of course, with the great Ty Johnson as well, who does a phenomenal job on that show, Tyrone Johnson. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And hopefully we'll talk to you down the line, maybe a little bit closer to the Sixers playoff run.
Yeah, Marc, sounds good. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Absolutely. The great Krystle Rich Belt joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. You know, the more I think about it, the more psychotic that is. And I mean that in a loving way, because she's slowing down. Like, she is delayed. Like, the ultimate goal of traffic or being in your car is to get point A to point B as efficiently as possible. That's the word I like to use. Efficiently. Not as quickly, as efficiently as possible. And Krystle's like, let me delay that. Let me forfeit that, because this person's tailgating me. So I will slow down, go back in traffic, look at the person, and then I will proceed about my day. That's a boss move. That's a boss move. That's not a move that I would make. Now, here's the deal. You guys are aware, in my amazing time, toll to toll, 3.5 hours, Pittsburgh to Philadelphia. I have made that many a times. Despite that doubting Thomas John Barchard, I've made that trip and made that time a many a times. From toll to toll. From the toll at Pittsburgh to the toll at KOP, toll to toll, 3.5 hours. And I'll be making that trip again in a couple of weeks. Got to go back out to Pittsburgh for another wedding. This one for my wife's really good friend from college. I got to go out there for Pittsburgh again. So I'll try to beat that time again. It's not going to happen because my mom's going to be in the car probably. We'll have the baby, and we're not going to be able to leave at like the middle of the night, which is when I've done the trip before. But whatever. I find myself to be very efficient, a very efficient driver. So I don't think I'd pull the move that Krystle pulls there. But I can see why. And I see some people in the chat, they really like that move. But that is a very different answer that we have gotten than anything else, because most people have cell phone, whatever. I like Taryn's. Wow, the two ladies we asked, Taryn was like, any minor inconvenience, I will honk my horn. And then Krystle, of course, with the I don't know what you would call that, the reverse tailgate? I don't know. But the two ladies had the best answers. There you go. So thanks, Krystle Rich, for joining us right there. Also, the thing I didn't hear wasn't the pizza thing. The thing I didn't hear was the going Dutch on a bill. I've never, fellas and ladies, let me say this. I am well aware that women very progressive, all right? And I consider myself very old-fashioned in the sense of, like, opening doors, right? I always open my wife's car door before I go and open mine. It's how I was raised, to be respectful to the women, especially if you're married or serious relationship, and this person's going to be having your child, or children in my case. Open the door, do the little things, right? I have met women that on both sides of the coin here. One, where they don't want you to do anything for them because I can do it, that kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm just trying to be kind. Sorry for my kindness. And then I've met others that are like, do everything for me. And the thing that jumps to mind is I was on a first date many years ago, not with my wife. I don't even think I had met my wife yet. I had not. And I was on a date, and we go to the restaurant and having a great conversation, and we're having a nice time so far. We sit down at the table, talk about the food. Oh yeah, piping, amazing conversation. And the waiter comes over and says, and what can I get you? And I think I'm being the most perfect gentleman in the world. And I look at the lady and I go, like I look at like basically leading her into ordering first, because that's a gentleman thing to do. And she looks at me shocked. And I first thought, like, has she never been to a restaurant? Does she not know this is protocol, where the waiter says, what do you want? And then the man tells her, looks at her like, yeah, go ahead. You first. And she looked at me, and there was like a downbeat where I thought stupid things. And she goes, oh, you're not going to order for me? Like to order for her. And I swear to you, this line just came to me. I said it out loud. Maybe this is why there wasn't a second date. And I just said it like, she goes, "Oh, you're not going to order for me?" And I was like, "No." And you know, you could vote in elections now too, right? I don't know why that line came out, but that line came out. And she was like, "Oh, I'll have the chicken parm," or whatever the hell. I don't know. And I was just, that was the first time and never since I ever had a girl look at me and go, "Oh, you're not going to order for me? Oh, I have to make a decision." And then I realized when they had to make a decision, that's what they didn't want. They didn't want to have to make the decision. I didn't say they because that would imply multiple. She didn't want to have to make the decision on what she wanted for food. So yeah, but splitting a bill, fellas, I really hope that's one thing that never goes out of style. Like implying the man pays. Now, if the woman wants to be like basically what it should come down to is who asked who out kind of thing. But ultimately, in the gentleman's code, which I still very much follow, and vast majority of the code is the man pays. That's the gentlemanly thing to do. If the woman insists, she's a woman. She's got a job. She works. She's a human being, fully capable of paying for a meal. If she really wants to do it, I'm not gonna fight her. I will let her know. I will lose sleep over allowing anyone I take out to pay for anything. I will lose sleep over it. The thing that was a first date deal breaker for me, though, was after a while, after you got experience in the dating world, is the lady that just expected it. It's a weird thing. She just expected you to pay. Like she didn't even do the reach, which I believe is another Seinfeld reference as well. But I was saying that way before I knew it was Seinfeld. Will she like go, what do I owe? Oh, get out of here. You got to give the man the opportunity to give you the get out of here. Wow, it's another Seinfeld reference. I should really stop watching Seinfeld. Anyway, but you should give him the get out. Like, oh, no, that's what you kidding me? Absolutely not. My treat, whatever. Oh, I just feel really bad. Can I leave a tip? All right, you can leave a tip. Next date, I thank you. But anyway, that's just kind of how I like to roll. I see Luigi saying I'm cocky calling myself a gentleman. I think I just say it. Well, this is the way it is. Anyway, thanks, Krystle Rich, for joining us right there on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Much appreciated. Let's tell you, ladies and gentlemen, about Rothman Orthopaedics and how great they are. Hey, remember the old you? Remember the one that had put up a fickle knee, finicky hip, or a shoulder? Eee! That no longer does what a shoulder should do. The Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, walking, working, playing, back to living your life the way you want. With same-day appointments available, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. Oh, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you won some money last night. I hope you challenged a friend on a WinView challenge and had yourself a good time. Because if you didn't, took my advice, you won yourself some money. Ja Morant, Jason Tatum, both hitting their overs last night. I also had Al Horford over 5 rebounds. He had like 13. I don't know, something like that. I also had Ja Morant's over on assists. He had, I believe, 6 in the game. And that was my 4-leg parlay, which I hit on last night, which was nice. But those were all nice things. Tatum and Ja Morant going into the fourth quarter, not so hot. Then Ja Morant went off towards the end of the third quarter and then went off even more so in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum had 37 points. Morant had 28 points, which is pretty good. Pretty good. But the Celtics won, which sucks because I always like to see them lose. They won 120-107 last night, still behind the Sixers, though, in the standings. But, guys, you got to take advantage of all the great things on WinView like I do. Challenge a friend or family member who thinks they know everything about sports to a WinView challenge and see if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. You can win some money, real money prizes for making predictions on the games that you love. But it's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where fans can take on other fans and see once and for all who knows more about sports. And win some money while you're at it. Also, make sure you guys are following on all social media platforms, PHL Sports Nation. That's PHLSportsNation.com, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Let's jump into everybody's favorite part of the show. Chat check, ladies and gentlemen. See how everybody is doing. Dan Schwartz, what's up? April, good morning. Mally, what's popping? Kevin, how are you? Mike Fuji, what's going on? Happy Friday to yous guys. Waiting for confirmation, but we could have a special guest for Monday. So look for, hopefully we're taping today and then air Monday. So that should be a good time. Happy Friday to you, Fuji. Mally, I'll keep you guys posted on the old social medias. Jim, what's going on? Happy Friday. A lot of happy Fridays. Sean, happy Friday. Jim, Sixers play tonight. It is a breath of fresh air when the Sixers are in action. It really is. Especially because the Flyers are terrible. Gotta have a balance. Mopar, what's going on? National Dress in Blue Day for real? Can't make this up. That's every day to me. And did you see? I thought you guys would appreciate this. I'm wearing blue in this picture as well. Yes, Krystle is right in the front there, but in the middle, God bless her, she's still got that picture up. She's awesome. Blue is just kind of my thing. Don Vito, what's up, buddy? John Cheeseborough, what's up, bud? Luigi. Alice. Hi, Alice. Brandon, what's going on? Some new people. Mark, what's up, man? Let's see. What are you guys saying here? Okay. Jim, I like Jordan. Now Millsap can play the 4. I hope that's the case. Like Krystle's guess was like, what'd she say, 5 to 7 minutes of DeAndre Jordan? I think they're going to give him more run than that. I think they're going to really go more to like the 10 to 15 minute range. It really depends on just how this works out. And I don't think it's going to take long to evaluate DeAndre Jordan and what he could bring to the table here in Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to take long at all. I think it's going to be a couple of games to be like, oh, okay, so maybe this wasn't going to work out. Let's stick with the young guys. It was a bot. Now it makes sense. Jim, Jordan will play with Harden, and he should get a couple of lob dunks for him. I hope that's the case. Give him some spring, hopefully in his steps, 33 years old, and see what he has left. I hope that's the case. That's where my mind immediately goes. But I'm like, if the Lakers get rid of him, how much of that does he have left? But if he's creating better spacing, if James Harden is creating that better spacing, then maybe in those pick and roll situations, DeAndre Jordan will have the ability to just go to the rim and throw it down. I hope we get a couple of those at least. Let's see here. Alyssa. Good morning, Alyssa. Don Vito telling Dan Schwartz not to take shots at the Flyers. Like Farzy said, Jordan isn't going to be Andre Drummond, but I think the very little he has left should still be more than what Dwight Howard gave them. Okay, John, that's a great point. If you get somewhere in the middle of Dwight Howard to Andre Drummond, Andre Drummond, if you get in between those two, and that's what DeAndre Jordan can give you, I'm the happiest man in the universe. Thank you very much. I would love to see that. I don't think we will, but if we do, I'm a happy man. What else do we have here? Mally calling Alyssa a celebrity. Well, she is. Sixers correspondent, Alyssa. Mopar, I think, has a little crush on Krystle. Krystle's beautiful. She's a lovely lady. Mopar, hello, whoever you are on my screen. That's Krystle Rich Bell. Married to the awesome Don Bell. Great guy. Good morning. Good morning, Alyssa. Don Vito, the baseball heads in Philly love to take shots when the Flyers are down. Oh, boy. Don Vito taking pucks to the chest for the Flyers. Don, I think I've made this point before. I love the Flyers. I've said this many times. I grew up a huge hockey fan, still a huge hockey fan. Oh, excuse me. Did I say hockey? Flyers. Huge Flyers fan. What they're doing this season hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. It's going to really hurt my heart when they trade Claude Giroux. And I don't get emotional about trades anymore. But Claude's been here forever. And I feel like his talent has been robbed by the idea that Ron Hextall did his own little rebuild. Now Chuck Fletcher is obviously trying to do his own little rebuild. Dave Haxtell was part of that rebuild as a head coach, and his system did not help Claude Giroux in the least bit. And he's got how many other head coaches now over the last 10 years? This franchise has not had a commitment to winning during the vast majority of Claude Giroux's time here as the captain. I blame GMs in the franchise more than I blame Claude Giroux for this team's lack of success during Claude Giroux's time as a captain here. But right now, I know there's been a lot of injuries. I know when we've had like Taryn on, for instance, she's talked to us about how bad the injuries are for this team and they're worse than any other team and all that. This team, they just need an enema, I think. And as much as I just want to say, oh, get healthy and you'll be fine. It's hockey. Guys get hurt. You can't just wave a magic wand and just have this team play better. It's just another down year for the Flyers, which sucks. But yeah, let your frustrations out on the Flyers. Just no cheap shots. That's the only thing I ask. Not a basketball guy, but I'm a fan of her. Mopar, God bless you. Davito, the Sixers have the recipe. Dominant center, high IQ elite scorer, and a great coach. There you go, Don. See, I thought you were just going to go the other way and just hate on the Sixers out of jealousy for the Flyers, but you didn't. You're a good man, Don Vito. Are you guys? Are we actually telling someone that Krystle's on NBC? And the Big Ten Network. Don't forget that Big Ten Network. Mopar, you just figured out how to put your phone on landscape? All right. That's all good. Luigi, does Krystle know the weather? I'm sure she does, but I'm not going to have her do the weather. Especially the Spider-Man meme. Oh, pointing at each other. Doc just has to show he can break down his own tendencies. Oh, I'm sorry. Break his own tendencies, John. Yeah. And I think he's done that with these rotations. Wait, are there two Don Vitos? No. Oh, there are two Don Vitos. What the hell's happening? We got one with the Phantoms logo. And then we got the other with, I can't make out what that picture is, but it's two different guys. April, man, Marc. Oh, popping with the bots today? Yeah, it seems like it. That is a great line. Where is it? John, Luigi, the weather report is on the back of CT's thumbs. You guys. I always assumed there was a detailed map of North America on the back of everything. Come on, Luigi. Sean, you're watching on a full screen on the iPad? Wow, that's like TV. I like that. Oh my goodness. All right. I don't expect Tobias to score 25, 30 points a game. I expect him to stop passing up open shots. Jim, fine. You know what? I'm going to say one thing, and maybe this is nitpicking because there's far other things to worry about. I hate when Tobias Harris brings the ball up. I hated it when he would not give the ball to Tyrese Maxey when they were on the floor at the same time, and it was either a fast break situation or even an inbounds play after a made basket. And I just freaking loathe anytime he brings the ball up, which has been few and far between with James Harden on the court. And I've seen less of that since James Harden's been here, which is good. It's the exact trend I want to see. But all I need from Tobias, be a willing participant, defensively speaking, on the defensive end of the floor, and hit your threes. That's really all I want. That's all I need. Remember this stat? It was something crazy. It was like when Tobias Harris was acquired by the Sixers from the Clippers, and they sent like Landry Shamet out there and got back Bobby, Mike Scott, and Toby. When they brought Tobias in, his stat was something incredible. It was like him and Steph Curry. Him and Steph Curry, not Seth Curry. Him and Steph Curry were like the only players in the NBA over the last like 2 seasons, whatever it was, to shoot like over 40% from three and over 40% from the field. Like it was something ridiculous like that. And if they could get back to those numbers, just percentage-wise, certainly not quantity-wise, but percentage-wise, oh yeah, they're going to be making some noise. Oh, Alyssa is saying you don't get to watch? What? Don't get to watch the Sixers because they didn't invest? Sean, oh boy. Okay, there's a lot going on here. I'm trying to follow. April says that Krystle was speaking the truth, and I concur. I think she was as well. Same April, same. Oh, yeah. Like, ladies, I would feel like if I didn't pay, I would legit lose sleep over it. Because I'd always be questioning whether or not she was just being nice. And then when I said, okay, fine, was she then like, oh, damn, he's actually accepting? What a jerk. Like, I would honestly lose sleep over that. I am capable, but it's a first date. There isn't going to be another. Thank you, Alyssa. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. If you're taking somebody out, yes, you're capable of paying, but it's a first date. Be the gentleman, do the gentlemanly thing. But I will just say there are some people in this world that will then look down on you for doing the gentleman thing. Like, equal. You guys are equal. Like, no, she can have my kid. So if I can show a little extra support, I'm going to do that. Rob, I want a sugar mama. There you go, Rob. I knew a guy when I was just starting out in radio that would always tell a lady he took out on a date, I know I'd love to be able to pay for you. I just don't make a lot of money. And just in case I haven't mentioned this before, when you start out in radio, especially if you're a producer, at the time when I started, you made $8 an hour. That's why I reffed for as long as I reffed. That's why I landscaped as long as I did so many other jobs just so I could pursue, sports broadcasting. But on a date, I would never bring that up. But my buddy would always use he called it the starving artist. And I'm like, you're brilliant. God bless you. Here's Luigi. Come on, Farzy, a little cocky. Say you're a gentleman. I'm a gentleman. Luigi, you're a player. You're a player. I think that's what you meant to say, Luigi. I think that's the inflection you're implying here, being that it's playa with an A at the end. Alyssa, I'm going to offer, but see, Alyssa, that's good. That you and I are the same wavelength. April, the reach. You know the reach. Oh, can I get that? No. Oh, okay. Thank you. That's what we're looking for. Ladies, if you're single, next time you go out with a fella, right? Or you go out at all, and they offer to pay, do oh, you sure I can't? And just your purse could be like over here, and you could reach over here. We don't need it to be even genuine, to be honest with you. We just need can I just, that's all we need. Farzy, where was your first date spot in the city? Ooh. I didn't have a consistent first date spot. I will say this. My first date with my wife, we went to a baseball game, and we crushed a couple of Modelos, and that's how I knew she was the one. But no, we went to a baseball game that was a friend of mine. If you guys listened to me at all when I was working with Big Daddy, we had an intern, Tom Fody, great guy. He was like 14 when he interned. He was a kid. And we became friendly. It turns out his mom worked with my cousin. There was some family connection there. He invited me to his graduation party, which was at a Blue Claws game, I think. And my wife and I were on the same softball team. We'd become friends. She was definitely into me. Had a crush on me for like a whole year, for the record. Anyway, such a clinger. And then we went to this, and then we went to my buddy's bar, and we went to the bar and had some drinks. And then the rest is actually full disclosure. I will say this: my first date with my first actual date with my wife lasted 3 days. What's up? Anyway, so not to brag or anything, but as my buddy Bennett put it, at the end of the date, I texted him and I said, "Hey, dude, I just had a 72-hour first date," and he goes, "I'm putting my odds on this girl to get married to you because you're a lot to handle for 72 hours." And I said, "Yeah, so to speak." And then he gave that speech as one of my best men at my wedding. So there you go. So yeah, I didn't really have a go-to first date spot. Kind of felt the vibe. You know what I'm saying? Mike Fuji, yeah. Broad Street South, fine podcast. You guys do a great job. April, I love when Marc gives his disappointment face during the chat check. Jim agrees with me about the Flyers. Blow it up and move on. Really? It's a classic name. That's disrespect. What's a classic name? What am I missing here? What did I miss? I hate when I miss stuff. Need playa in a Christopher Walken voice. Yeah. What else am I missing here? April, I call my wife a clinger all the time. If I especially when I was traveling for Sunday Night Football and I was gone for like 1 day, I'd come back Monday. She'd be like, "Oh, I miss you." I'm like, "All right, back off, clinger." We have a beautiful relationship. First date with my current was on a boat. Since then, can't get rid of her. Just kidding, of course. Mopar, your first date was on a boat? That's pretty awesome. Sean Gillespie, 3 days. Thumbs up. Ah, my man. What am I missing on the classic name? I love classic names. Did I get everything? I think I got everything. Thanks everyone for participating in the chat check. You guys are fantastic as per usual. You guys are awesome. Thanks for participating in the chat. Let's move on to our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. No Jimmy Butler for the Heat last night. They still were able to beat the Nets, who got Kevin Durant back last night. Heat were able to win 113-107. Bam Adebayo, 30 points, 11 rebounds. Bulls lost last night to the Hawks 130-124. Sixers 2.5 games out of first place. They and the Bulls are 2.5 games out of first place. I mentioned the Celtics beat the Grizzlies 120-107. Jason Tatum 37 points. Ja Morant 38 points. Sixers tonight 7.5-point favorites against the Cleveland Cavaliers at home. I think I'm going to take that action tonight. I think I'm going to take the Sixers minus 7.5 to cover that tonight. And as I've been telling you with the prop of the day, with the great people at WinView, keep on riding Joel Embiid's over, folks. Keep having fun with that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys have a phenomenal weekend. You guys are awesome. Oh, your name, John Cheeseborough. Gotcha. Oh, that is pretty classic. All right. Hey, everybody have a great weekend. I'm going to go say hi to my clinger wife in a second. JP produced the program. Jim Hyden did a phenomenal job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production from the Steven Sayer Studios. This is the Farzy Show presented by Destination Retirement at DestinationRetirement.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you on Monday. Go Sixers. See ya.